Teacher talking sports, what it does, what do, how we live. And let's continue the series I've been doing where I name who I believe is the best player in each MLB franchise's history. Their all-time GOAT previously did these for NBA, NHL, and NFL as well. They're all in playlist. You could check them out, as are the MLB teams I've done thus far. Going in alphabetical order, today we land on the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox inaugural season was way back in 1901. I've only been known as the Chicago White Sox. 124 years of baseball action. They've won 3 World Series. 2 came well over a century ago, 1906 and 1917. Then they had to wait nearly 90 years before they finally won again in 2005. Now, before I name who I believe is the GOAT of the franchise, I've been revisiting the MLB Mount Rushmores I did about 3 years ago, where I attempted to name the 4 best players in each franchise's history, just seeing if I would make any changes 3 years that have passed. I've kept the Chicago White Sox one the same. That's a lot of older timers besides one. So, alphabetical order by last name, we have Luke Appling, Hall of Famer, 2,749 hits, 1,319 runs scored in his career, led the league in batting average twice with the White Sox. Excuse me. Eddie Collins, um, one of the all-time great second basemen. Collins played with the White Sox from 1915 to 1926 and was a member of their World Series championship in 1917. All in all, he did bat 331 with the White Sox. The big hurt, Frank Thomas. Thomas won back-to-back MVPs in 1993 and 1994 with Chicago. And Ed Walsh. That's a trivia question you can ask someone who has the lowest ERA in MLB history for those that would qualify for career ERA. Yes, it is Ed Walsh, whose 1.82 ERA again is the lowest. I'm sure a lot of people would say Walter Johnson, Cy Young. No, it is Ed Walsh. So some honorable mentions for this Mount Rushmore include Red Faber, Ted Lyons, Luis Aparicio, Minnie Minoso, Jose Abreu, Paul Canerco, Robert Ventura, and Mark Burley, to name a few. At the end of all these, I take a look at the active roster, decide who would, if anyone has a chance to overtake the GOAT, make the Mount Rushmore, be an honorable mention. They just lost 121 games. Probably no to all 3, but we'll look at the end. But anyhow, I believe the best player in Chicago White Sox franchise history is the big hurt, Frank Thomas. He was the 7th pick in the 1989 draft out of Auburn by the White Sox, made his debut on August 2nd, 1990. Played with the White Sox until the 2005 season. As I mentioned, won back-to-back MVPs in 1993 and 1994. Also had a runner-up, 2 third-place finishes, and 3 eighth-place finishes with Chicago. 7 straight seasons from 91 to 97, finished top 8 in MVP voting. Let's take a look at his season-by-season numbers via his baseball reference. We're just looking at his time with Chicago. So, in his 16 seasons with the White Sox, the Big Hurt hit 307 with a 427 on base percentage, 568 slugging, 995 OPS, and a 161 OPS plus. For much of the, we'll say, first half of his time with the White Sox, mostly was a first baseman. Second half was mostly a DH, but was such a great hitter that still provided a ton of value. But we see bold ink everywhere. Led the league in batting average once, walks 4 times, on base percentage 4 times, slugging once, OPS 4 times, doubles once, runs once. With the White Sox, he had 8 straight seasons from 91 to 98 with both at least 100 runs scored and 100 RBIs. He also did both in 2000 and then had another 105 RBI season in 2003. Again, 448 homers with Chicago. He had 5 different years where he clubbed at least 40, including a career high of 42 coming in the 2003 season. Incredible eye. He also had 8 straight seasons from 91 to 98 with at least 100 walks and did so in 2 other seasons as well. Uh, well more career walks, well, one more walks than strikeouts with Chicago. 1,466 walks compared to 1,165 strikeouts. So, just an incredible hitter throughout his time. He batted not over 500, over 300 each of his first 8 seasons with the White Sox. Had over a 400 on base percentage in 10 of his first 11 and his first 8 seasons with the White Sox. Most of his career with the White Sox, he did end 1 year with Oakland, 2 with Toronto, and then 1.5 with Toronto, and then also another half with Oakland. So most of his career with the White Sox, but all time he is um, 18th with his 974 OPS, 76th in runs scored, 108th in hits, 47th total bases, 20th in homers, 26th in RBIs, and 10th in walks. The Big Hurt was just such an awesome hitter, especially throughout much of the 1990s. First ballot Hall of Famer in 2014. Let me know in the comments if you agree that Frank Thomas is the best player in franchise history. As I said, with all these teams, we take a look at the active roster, to see if anyone has a chance to. Okay, no one on the team is gonna make the overtake Frank Thomas. They just lost 121 games. Even gonna be hard to see anyone being an honorable mention. A guy like Luis Robert played really well in 2023, but that seems like an outlier thus far. Hasn't had a season quite like that. Has been injury plagued as well. And Garrett Crochet, very good season last year, albeit on a terrible team. But we had that's his first season doing so. So would definitely need to see 3 or 4 more before we even consider him for an honorable mention. But yeah, that's about it. When you lose 121 games, you don't have many great players. But stay tuned for tomorrow. I'll be doing the Cleveland Guardians. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.